Hello?
Hi, is this the owner, Jason and Julie's?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I was going to
So,
say, you
is it
screwed
okay if
me
we
up
record
because
you?
the phone came up as Brett Elder, and then all of a sudden a female voice, and I was like, oh, okay.
Brett, I have no clue how that popped up. Um, so is it okay if we record you so all your quotes are as precise as possible?
I no, absolutely. Like I had
Okay,
I'd said, I'm actually recording this myself because I thought
okay.
that it potentially could make good social media content for us for some of my
hmm
platforms.
Yeah. So could you spell your first and last name so we don't misspell it?
No, thank you. So it's Jason, Jasan, Julius,
hmm
Julius. I actually put my middle initial R in there. Uh, my mom wanted me to be unique, so she spelled my name with two A's.
So I think I have like 10 to 15 questions. It shouldn't be too much.
No problem.
So what inspired you to create this business in the first place?
Well, I mean, a very long story, but I used to work at Chrysler, and I noticed a friend of mine was walking in with
hmm
this little small cup, and when he told me it was espresso, and that he paid $4 for it, I mean, it just got my brain working, and I was like, well, that's not your mom and pop 50-cent coffee. And over time, the
hmm
guy talked me into going out to a coffee expo in Seattle, and that was where I tried my first coffee, and I guess that's what started my love with coffee. But it was a back burner thing. My brain chewed on it for a good decade, and then I had some
hmm
significant happenings in my life that I there was a point where I was like, you know what? I've been thinking about this, and I'm gonna do it. And I can't speak for other entrepreneurs, but I'm just one of those where I don't really dabble my toe. If I'm going to get into something, I
hmm
jump in with both feet. And in 2005, I jumped in and started Coffee Junkies. Um,
Yeah.
2014 was when I created Pizza Junkies, and that was because I wanted to take all the lessons that I had learned and apply them to a new brand. And I created Pizza
hmm
Junkies in a test kitchen. And about a year later, I had this oddly bright idea. What if I put them under one roof? So I moved Pizza Junkies into my main location. And a year later, we won business or medium business of the year with the Howard County Chamber of Commerce. It's a
hmm
coffee and pizza is a very odd mix, but business-wise, that they complement each other very well. And
hmm
since 2015, 2016, it's kind of been for a small business, it's been off to the races.
Yeah. So when did it officially kind of take off?
Then that's where, I mean, you hear Mark Cuban talking about entrepreneurs, and my first several years was like, I really believed in what I was doing with Coffee Junkies, but as a business, the numbers just weren't making sense. I mean, you're competing against the 800-pound gorilla, and they had a 30-year head start when it come to product and loyalty. When I created Pizza Junkies and put them under one roof was when I truly started to feel like an entrepreneur, because the numbers made sense, because it was a functioning, operating business that was capable of being profitable. So I'm legitimately, I had to earn my stripes, but it was generally 2014, 2015 that it was like I was finding my way and truly feeling like I had created something that was duplicatable, and I guess kind of validated the sticking with it for all of those years to get to what it is now.
Yeah. So what kind of financial sacrifices have you kind of had to make so far?
I'm huge, and I guess that's the misnomer out there when I see people kind of glorifying entrepreneurialism. I sacrificed everything. I mean, like, I sacrificed everything, and that
hmm
is something that a lot of entrepreneurs, I would venture to say the vast majority, it's a gut check. That do they truly believe in what they're doing? Because you end up making huge sacrifices. The sad, regrettable part is that, I mean, my family had to endure those sacrifices with me. But I left Chrysler making a very, very comfortable income. I had been there for 13, almost 14 years, and was well on my way to a career at Chrysler, providing for and making very good money. And I'm going to be honest, my income was virtually zero for the first decade of business.
Yeah.
It's a commitment. You have to truly believe in what you're doing, and you should never do it for the money, because the money has to be a byproduct. If you have passion in it and you're committed to it, if you love what you're doing, the money will eventually come. But it is the eventually. I mean, it could be anywhere between 5, 10. When I saw Damon John make a comment that he didn't make any money in his business for the first 11 years, it was almost a sigh of relief, saying, okay, maybe I'm not doing something so terribly wrong here, that this is more of the status quo, because monetary sacrifices were huge, and a lot of it delayed gratification.
Yeah. So have you had any like hardships since you've been doing this?
Honestly, it's yes, because I mean, there were times where it was I need to pay these bills in order for the door to open up tomorrow, but I don't have food in my refrigerator, and I've got a family to provide for. I've said it before. At the time, my wife was like, why are you doing this? Why are you taking care of these other people, and we're struggling as a family? And time and time again, all I could respond to was, if we don't take care of this business and we don't take care of the people that are helping operate it, this business is never going to take care of us. It's been a long journey, and I mean, I'm not too proud to say that. I mean, when you're beginning entrepreneurship, you're going to make a bunch of mistakes, and those mistakes are going to cost you money. Well, how big are those mistakes? How long does it take you to rebound from those losses? The sacrifices are just, they're tremendous. You really, really have to believe in yourself, believe in what you're doing, and believe that what you're doing is something special, and that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. So what do you kind of look for in your employees?
I'm gonna be honest, personality. Don't get me wrong. I've had some girls come through as baristas that they're like, I looked at them and thought, kind of gauged that they were future butterflies, but you could tell they were very reserved, and I needed to break them out of their shell, because this is not, coffee sells itself. This is a service business. So you can train process, you can train operating a business, but you cannot train personality and being a people person and finding people that love interacting with other people, because in a service business, there you have to have consistent product. I'm not going to say necessarily good, bad, or indifferent. Your product has to be consistent, and your service has to be exceptional, and that comes from people that truly like interacting with people. You can't fake it. So personality, attitude would be the two things that I look for when I look at hiring people.
Yeah. So are there any investments that you're happy you made, or are there any that you regret?
Okay, so let's go to the regret. In the very beginning, I was fascinated with marketing and media, but I didn't know a lot about it. I mean, I'm a pretty quick study. I read a lot of books, but the point being, I didn't know what was going to work, so I said yes to everything, and it almost buried me a couple times. It led to me having to learn to say no to advertisers, because they just wanted my money, whether their advertising worked or not. So by and large, over the last 16 years, if there's one thing that I wish I could have that money back, it was in wasted advertising that I found out by the spend, it didn't work. Because there is truly good advertising and bad advertising, but the person selling the advertising they're a salesman. They're trained to overcome the no and sell whatever product is they're selling. So that would be my biggest regret when it comes to spend. When it comes to what I am most happy that I stepped out on a limb and made the investments and spent, it would be in technology. I am the improvement of the process and how much more efficient the operation is, how much more it helps us provide better service to our customers has been found in that investment. But I'm going to be honest, like when I decided after doing a bunch of reading that I was going to, again, jump in with both feet when it comes to truly embracing technology and making some major upgrade investments, the first check that I had to write blindly, when I say blindly, like without it being installed, without proving that there were actually the benefits that I thought was there, first check was $35,000. It was a big gulp, but it ended up what they said it would do, it did do. Very happy that I finally stepped forward and started making those major investments in technology.
So what does it take to run a successful business? Like when it comes to personality traits?
Man, there, I think about so many words, and I just posted on my personal page, there was an old movie called The Replacements, and Gene Hackman, excuse me, was asked, what does it take to win? And he tapped on his chest and he said, heart. When it really comes down to it, heart, perseverance. I personally embrace and like the word stubborn. It really, there's a certain amount of hard-headedness that goes into it, and belief and passion for what you're doing. Because, like I said, the monetary reward is not there up front. So if you're not enjoying it, if you do not have passion for what you're doing, you won't stick out the hard times. I am a consummate learner, so I viewed all of this as a learning process. It was make mistakes early and often, try not to let them affect the customer, try not to let it bury the business in the process. I knew that I was on a journey, that I was learning, but that's passion. If you don't have the passion, you will not stick out through the hard times, and the hard times are guaranteed. Because when you're number one, the buck stops at you, the decisions stop at you, you're responsible for everything, and that's highly stressful and can be very gut-wrenching because it leads to very hard decisions that fall on your plate.
Yeah. So, what do you enjoy about owning a small business or a business in general?
No, you're fine. It's I'll be honest. I truly believe that life is about connectivity. I'll be honest, I'm naturally an introvert. When I'm in my business and in my comfort zone, I become a lot more extroverted, but I thoroughly enjoy the conversations and the communications with both my customers and my employees and my vendors. One, because I always look to learn something new every day. With my employees, it's like, I feel like if they're going to come give a piece of themselves to my business, that they deserve to get something in return. So I embrace that student and teacher role, both, because I'm happy to tell my employees when they've taught me something. But I enjoy the communication. It's that is a lot of where the fulfillment comes from. I enjoy communicating with people.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to a young and aspiring entrepreneur?
When I look back on my entire life, every little thing I did, in the moment when you're doing it, you don't realize that you're gaining experience for something bigger. had I looked back and been more engaged and thought about that, I might have paid even closer attention. But as somebody that has the entrepreneurial spirit, I be very conscious of what you're doing, of what you're learning, of what experience and knowledge that you're gaining, because you're logging it. I mean, your brain is that computer that records it all. So when you want to go into entrepreneurship, you're going to pull on all of your previous experiences and mistakes and learning opportunities so that you can apply them to your entrepreneurial journey. So if somebody is looking forward, knowing they want to be an entrepreneur, knowing that at some point they want to create something and they want to become an entrepreneur, be very conscious of what you're doing now, because that experience will serve you so well in the future.
Yeah, for sure. So do you have any future plans or any new foods coming or expanding the store or anything?
Well, don't get me wrong. That's what I guess when you apply it to food, I like inventing and creating. That's where I have really enjoyed creating 2 brands from nothing. But the point is, yes, we're always looking to innovate. That was my, like, in the coffee business and in the pizza industry, there's no originality. It's all been done. When I combined them is when I thought, I know of nobody in the United States that's put coffee and pizza under one roof. That was the originality, but I enjoy the innovation when it comes to the products. So yeah, we have many products on both sides that are in the works that we're looking to roll out. As far as the bigger picture though, right now, I am in the process of filing for my trademark rights for both brands. I'm in the process for registering to become a licensed registered franchisor. When I started this business, I truly believed, and my dream was that these brands could be national brands, that they deserve national attention. And I told myself when I left Chrysler, I did not leave to create a job for myself. I'm quite competitive, quite ambitious. I left to build something and to see just how big I could build it.
Yeah, for sure. So what is something that, like, the biggest thing that you think you've taken away from starting your own business?
Man, I mean, the biggest thing's hard to say. I will say that you really have to make a conscious decision to be willing to take responsibility, not just for yourself, but for your surroundings and the people that you employ, because you become responsible for their livelihood. Through all of that, that has led to me having a very high tolerance for pain. And what I appreciate about that is that allows me at this point to be very cool, calm, and collected in very stressful situations. And I think that that's a sign of a good leader. A good leader is able to step into chaos and move and direct and orchestrate and bring calm.
Yeah. So what has helped you through this process?
What has helped me through this process? Everybody that supported me. When I started the business, I had a whole lot of people that told me I couldn't do it, that I couldn't accomplish things. And so the fuel in my tank was in proving other people wrong. And over the last several years, it's just simply transformed into something more positive of proving myself right.
Yeah. So what have you found out about yourself during this time?
That I'm not a dummy.
Yeah.
My father is 100% blue collar, manual labor. That's how that man put food on our table and provided for us. I have so much respect for the blue collar, manual labor provider. And when I went into Chrysler, I was not a success in school by any stretch of the imagination. And I've loved manual labor. I never had a problem with it. And I thought that my life was just totally going to be that I was going to provide for myself and my family through manual labor. And And at some point, a light went off in my head that just maybe I wasn't as dumb as I thought I was. And I started becoming hungry for information. But I went out and I found the books and I found the resources for what I was directly interested in. And my brain became a sponge. And when I realized that you can learn something new every day, it's a sign of intelligence just to know you don't know everything, and there's a vast wealth of information out there for you to learn and grow every day. So when I realized I wasn't a dummy, I realized, well, now I want to be as intelligent and as knowledgeable and as experienced as possible, and wisdom comes out of experience.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think that's all I had. You did really, really good. If anything else you want to add, just let me know. But that's all I have.
No, I'll be, again, to me, this was, when you guys reached out, I was like, this is a cool opportunity to talk to the younger generation. Yeah. No, that's, like I said, that I hope, if nothing else, that after all of these years, the hardship, the sacrifices, the ups and downs, I'm still passionate today. As much as day one, I am so passionate about what I'm doing. I love it. I thrive on it. And today, it's not about the money. I love what I'm doing. I love building something. So thank you very much for reaching out. It was my pleasure to do this.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.